begin by asking you about the year that went by. It has been one of the most tumultuous and difficult year for Afghanistan. If you had to sum it up, how would you look at the year gone by and the years that are to come, that are ahead of Afghanistan?
Well, you put it very well. It has been a very tumultuous year for our country and our people. To sum it up, I can say that the people of Afghanistan are happier that there isn't a large-scale conflict, that no more the Afghan people are losing their lives on two sides of a conflict in which only Afghans were losing their lives on a large scale. That fortunately is over. But Afghanistan is facing immense difficulties, has been facing immense difficulties in the past 1 year. The loss of millions of Afghans who migrated abroad, our educated leaving the country, our economy in extremely difficult situation, and the loss of national reserves of the country and the institutions that collapsed, the state that effectively collapsed. That has been a tremendous loss. So the plus is that there isn't as much loss of life as there was before, but that everything else has been negative.
Well, you make a very important point, sir. But and we will talk about the withdrawal of United States of America's forces from Afghanistan and the impact it has had on the situation. Regional security is also Afghanistan security. But when it comes to you personally, your struggle, you fought extremist forces when you were in power. You have been a leader who wanted to take Afghanistan to a democratic setup, to a country that is stable, that is democratic, that is progressive. And now we see Afghanistan take many steps back. Personally, what do you make of the situation in Afghanistan, the ruling dispensation in Afghanistan, and how they're steering the country into maybe a more regressive country than what you had envisioned for your country?
Well, a happy Afghanistan is an Afghanistan where people get educated, where men and women work shoulder to shoulder for the well-being of the country, where the country is looking towards a better future. That can happen only when there is strong unity, and that unity leads to the expression of the will of the Afghan people through a national dialogue of the Afghan people, and where then the Afghan girls go back to school, where all Afghans, the Taliban and all other Afghans, live together in a country that is ruled by law, and that is moving towards fulfilling the aspirations of its population. That's the sort of government we need to have, and that's what we are working for.
Right. So my last question before I let you go. What are your hopes for Afghanistan? Not many people are very hopeful. I have friends who fled Afghanistan and see no hope of returning if the Taliban continue in the form and the manner in which they're continuing. We've seen designated entities and terrorists now a very important part of the administration. Where do you see Afghanistan head from here? It's been a year, and there has been no significant change from what we thought the Taliban was. They have not changed in form, they have not changed in how they rule, and they have really certainly not changed in the promises they made about inclusivity.
I have hopes for Afghanistan, very, 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 very good hopes for Afghanistan. This country will be fine, this country will do well. I'm also hopeful that things will change for better in Afghanistan. Definitely there is a need for certain changes in the policies of the current government. The issue of girls going to school is extremely important. That must change, and those schools must reopen immediately, and inclusivity and so many other issues that have to be addressed, that we are working on. But on the whole, Afghanistan is an old country. Temporary setups or temporary difficulties will not stop it from the long march towards a better future.